What's going on, guys, and welcome back to the channel. Since the beginning of theme parks over a century ago, and there's been a lot of them since, there have been many great fails and successes within the industry, some of which involve parks that closed forever, went abandoned, or just never operated at all. And thanks to places like this, we've gotten some pretty weird and bizarre things and attractions left behind, including a coaster and its park in Indonesia that have a pretty sad but nonetheless very entertaining history. With one inversion, a length of exactly 1,000 feet, and a design from a manufacturer who was only ever known to establish one roller coaster, though two were built, this compact little attraction would technically operate for 2 years, though never officially to the public, and prove to be maybe of the top 10 rarest credits ever known to the community. But of course, what is this coaster, and where did it come from? This is the story of Taman Festival Bali's unknown roller coaster. Back in the late 1990s, in the country of Indonesia, a small theme park known as Bali Festival Park was set to commence construction at a cost of $100 million. With a 3D cinema, the biggest swimming pool in Bali, a laser light show and water show, and the topic of today's video, a roller coaster, this theme park would gently open its doors in October of 1997 to locals, but not officially to the public, and to, unfortunately, very few visitors. According to park guests, a few attractions remained under construction at the time of opening, but the majority of the park was finished and beautiful. However, as I mentioned earlier, attendance was already low, and to make things worse, just a few months prior, the Thai government had completely crashed their national currency, causing an economic downfall now dubbed the Asian financial crisis. This crisis fed into Indonesia, and before anything could be done, already took a profound effect on Taman Festival Bali. The result was a 6-month period in which the park saw depressingly low numbers in attendance, amounting to maybe 200 guests on the weekend if they were lucky. They kept with it though, and were determined to find a rhythm and get into the groove. However, as if their luck wasn't already bad enough, Friday the 13th was just around the corner, and with it brought even more bad news: lightning. Hitting a $5 million set of lasers the park had been working on since opening, they fell into a complete financial crisis, and after insurance refused to cover the damages, permanently closed in 2000. That being said, not many people had been able to visit the park during its short span of operation, so when it went abandoned, a lot of it was left behind. Of these things, and perhaps the most interesting, was a one-of-a-kind prototype roller coaster built by an assortment of companies in the United States. And I'll let Coaster Dave, who did a lot of help in this script, explain more about that. Dave?
Yes, hello. With a layout and track fabricated by Inverted Technologies of Utah, trains by Philadelphia Toboggan Company, and control systems by Burkett Engineering of Florida, this compact little attraction featured one inversion and would take riders around a bit of greenery and mild theming. However, its history is much more than that. Starting as a concept on a computer in Ogden, Utah, Inverted Technologies owner Trent Hansen designed the coaster along with the help of his wife Anne and built and shaped the track on site. This was also done simultaneously with another coaster which they'd been working on that was fully built and sent to a park in the Philippines as well, though it was never erected and probably scrapped. If you look online today, Inverted Technologies is only accredited to the coaster at Taman Festival Bali, though the other one's existence is acknowledged by the database.
Moving on back to Taman Festival Bali's coaster though, Burkett had dropped out halfway through the project after they delivered their part of the coaster, leaving Philadelphia Toboggan Company and Inverted Technologies to finish up the rest. Regardless, construction of the ride was completed and would operate for those granted permission. It also appeared the name was set to be Iron Snake through videos of the queue online, but that's yet to be verified. Interestingly enough too, it never once opened entirely to the public as the park closed before it could do so, and unfortunately, Trent Hansen of Inverted Technologies passed away just a few short years ago. Just for another random bit of information too, the coaster had a sign out front marketing it as, quote, the world's first inverted zero-gravity roller coaster, which also added to its claim to fame with the park. But we also have almost no footage of it and just as rare photos. Because of this, thanks to Coaster Dave who gathered the blueprints from Inverted Technologies, he was able to create this virtual ride for you guys, and I think it's pretty cool. So with all that being said, I'd like to bring this video to a close while you're watching that, but isn't the fate met by this place extremely sad? Like, I'll bet had the park opened a few years later, they would have been just fine and still operational today, so it's just very unfortunate timing wise. I've also read online from urban explorers too that there's a gatekeeper who keeps this place clean and asks for a small donation fee for those who wish to come in and explore the abandoned grounds. Apparently it's also pretty sacred to locals, some of whom believe it's a place of dwelling for spirits and it's haunted, so if you do go, be mindful of that. As always, it's been a major pleasure creating new content for all of you, and I'd like to invite you to like and subscribe if you enjoyed today's content. My name's Josiah, not sure if I ever mentioned that in previous videos, but feel free to check us out and some of our other stuff too, and get behind the scenes updates from us on Instagram where we do daily posts. But besides that, if you're all good, I'm good, so stay tuned for another video coming in a couple days, and until then, we'll see you all there. See ya!